All right, we are back on MorningLine on this Tuesday. With me this morning is Buford Tune, Academy of Professional Protection and Security. You train a lot of people, security guards, and just teaching people how to handle their weapons. Correct. And all this. And appreciate you coming on, talking about the aftermath of the most recent church shooting, obviously, and the situation there. Could anything, you and I have talked about this before, in terms of preventing, and this is the scariest thing about it all, each of these happening. If there's someone dead set on committing a crime like this, and they've got the weapons to do it, and they don't really care about whether they survive or not, I've argued there is no way to stop it.
There's no way. I mean, you go back and look at history, you can't even 100,000% protect the President of the United States.
Right.
Right. With everything around.
With everything he has, exactly, all the resources.
If the person is hell-bent on coming through that door and causing destruction, you could put 50 police officers shoulder to shoulder around this person and they're still going to do something.
Okay, so is the answer then perhaps being clear that there's a deterrent? And what we see in the aftermath of these shootings most recently is a lot of churches and other organizations trying, through you and some other organizations, to get training. Does a killer like this one in Texas, if he thought that this church had armed guards, would he have still attempted to do what he was doing? We think he may have been going there trying to target his in-laws, so there was maybe a motive there to go after them. Would he have still done that? Would that have been a deterrent if he knew there were a couple armed guards inside the front door?
It's hard to say yes or no, but if you got to stop and put the mindset into maybe their mindset. If you're going after an easy target, you go after the soft target, not the hard target. Right. You go after the one that's going to be the easiest for you to go in on.
These are cowards. They're going to go the easiest way.
And they look for those signs that says weapons are prohibited.
And then they know
that tells them this is a shooting fish in a barrel.
Yeah. Even though I know plenty of people see those signs.
Exactly.
And they've got a concealed weapon, and there's a weapon in there anyway these days. I mean, that does happen.
Exactly.
All right, so they look for that. Well, let's take a call from Joe. Joe, good morning.
Good morning, Nick.
Hey, Joe, what's on your mind?
Just a comment, and I've been around a long time, as Buford has, and this is in no way a hit on the gun stores, but Buford knows as well as I do that years ago there was probably 1, 2, 3 gun stores in and around Nashville. Now there are quite a few of them everywhere. What can the gun store owners do to keep these idiots from breaking in and just a few minutes stealing 25 or 30 guns? And Beaver knows, I'm sure, that these guns, they're going to wind up on the street some way or another and be used for no good. But it seems to be that every weekend or two, I know in the last 2-3 weeks, there's been 2 stores broken into and about 25, 30 guns stole, and they can come in and out right quick. I wish there was some way that the gun stores could do a little bit more to secure their premises to stop this kind of stuff from happening.
You know what? He's right. I'll let you answer, but we've been running surveillance video from that Smyrna from late last week, and then over the weekend at Murfreesboro, 2 gun stores were hit. I'm sure you're aware of it, and each of them lost more than 24 weapons.
Correct. Well, what they're doing hit and runs. You can bet your last dollar those people have already been in that store.
Oh, sure.
They know which case they're going to when they come through that door. They're not going to go to the little cheap guns over here. They're going to go to the ones that they want. So they know which case, when they come through that door, they're going to hit and run.
What kind of guns do they want? I mean, what are the good ones?
Well,
I mean, what do they want? Are they looking for rifles? Do they want the handguns? I know there's certain weapons that are higher quality, more expensive.
Well, if you look at them, in one of this, they didn't take any rifles. They took all handguns.
Okay.
So in one of them, they took all rifles or long guns. So who knows what they're wanting? But when they come in, they snatch and go. Because if you stop and think, by the time the alarm goes off It notifies the alarm company. The alarm company notifies the police department. You've wasted 3 to 5 minutes right there. Now, what can you grab and run out in 3 to 5 minutes? A lot.
Yeah.
So what Joe said is correct. You know, the stores have put up steel doors.
I've seen them. The gun stores are super secure most of the time.
They'll take a pickup truck and just rip the whole front of the store out and run in.
Yeah.
Well,
what can you do?
Yeah, it's. I mean, you can't Fort Knox it, and then you're going to lose. You know, you wand everybody and search everybody coming in.
Right.
You're not going to have any business.
Yeah. No, you're right. And of course, these thefts happen after hours when they're closed up anyway. But yeah, when they go to that degree, I don't know what else you can do on that front, Joe. And you imagine most of those guns. This one was disturbing, and they're wondering if maybe it was both of them, same people involved. You know, are they getting them for themselves to arm their own little group, or more likely, are they getting these and they can sell them on the black market? And is that as lucrative selling a gun on the street as maybe selling OxyContin?
Well, it is when you didn't pay for it.
Well, I know it's lucrative no matter what, but is there that much money in black market guns?
It is, depending on where you sell them. If you sell them to people that can't legally buy one, they'll pay whatever they have to get one.
Especially for a really high-end, nice gun.
Exactly.
As opposed to some of these that you see on the streets that, you know, you worry if it's even going to fire.
It's just like cars. You got junk cars and you got good cars. You got junk guns, you got good guns. So you just got to, people don't really care. You know, if they, I want a gun, okay, here's one.
Yeah.
If they want a gun to commit robbery, they don't care what it is. They don't care if it's a high-dollar gun or a cheap gun. They just want it for that.
Yeah, and most of the time they're hoping they're not going to have to pull the trigger. I assume.
Exactly.
Just seeing that person's going to give you his wallet.
Well, you got to get the courts, when they catch these people, to prosecute them. I know one gun store that was broken into, and they caught the people, and they give them probation.
Yeah.
I mean, that's stupid.
Right.
I mean, you got that's the problem, is we got the laws, but they're not being enforced. So we got to get the courts to start enforcing these laws, and everybody yelling and screaming we need more laws. No, we got enough laws. We just need to enforce what's there. And you know, if you go out and commit murder, you go to the chair, that's going to solve a lot of problems. You go out and break into a gun store, you get 5 years minimum, that's going to solve a lot of problems.
Gotcha. All right, let's go to Carolyn. Hi, Carolyn.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
This is really upsetting me, all these shootings in churches. I just wonder what's going on with the wife of this man. I haven't heard very much said about his wife. And I know that the mother-in-law was threatened that morning. Why didn't she call the police and report that her life is being threatened? I know that a lot of times that doesn't even help, because they say, you know, they have to wait for something to happen before they arrest somebody. So they can't arrest somebody just for a threat. But what's going on with his wife? Why hasn't she been mentioned that much? Also, you know, we learn from the time we're in school not to tell on people, not to be a tattletale. So we grow up with that, you know, being told to us not to be a tattle. And so people learn, you know, not to tell on people. But we've got to change that. We've got to start telling what we know, because if we don't, these things are just going to continue to happen. And I'm all for people protecting themselves with guns, but this man really should have been checked more.
Sure. No, I think everyone would agree. Now, again, it's personal stuff. His wife, I've seen a photograph of her, and she's very pretty. And she apparently, they have at least one child that we understand was injured. I'm pretty sure they were estranged, probably going through the process of separating, or maybe they've been. I haven't seen the details on all this.
I haven't either.
But clearly, her parents, his in-laws, were in a dispute with him, and who knows if it was custody over kids. And that, when it gets domestic, that's part of this too. When you look at motive, emotions involved.
Yes.
Now, if he was just going to kill the in-laws, he didn't need to do what he did.
Exactly.
So he wanted not only to kill the in-laws, but to leave a statement?
Yeah, he was making a big statement.
Which, and whatever crazy statement that was,
Exactly.
I have no idea. But yeah, as far as the wife, I mean, she's not charged in any way. I'm sure she's horrified by all this, but what about her point of reporting things? And I'm not sure. There may have been an order of protection, or the family may have released or contacted police about the threats. Who knows how detailed they are?
Exactly. Well, if you go back and look at just about every active shooter, and I also like to use the word intruder, because not all of them are just shooters, they're all intruders, that we have. All right, after it happens, every time there are people popping up going, well, let's go back to the guy in Carolina that shot the church up and killed all those poor people. Right. Okay. Look at the people that come back that were friends of his on social media. Well, you know, I heard him talking about this stuff, but I didn't take him serious. Well, it's time for people to quit this crap and start taking it serious. Yeah. Because, you know, it goes back to the old saying, and it brings it back out to the Texas people down here. You know, if you see something, say something. Now we can add, do something.
Yeah, you have to.
I mean, so if I'm talking to you on the phone and I'm saying, Nick, I don't feel right, I'm fixing to go to the courthouse and start shooting people, and you just let it go, and you don't report that, you're just as guilty as a person that pulled that trigger in my eyes. Yeah,
I agree. And that's what we hear these days too. Schools pushing this, and I've told my own son this. You overhear anyone in your school talking about, man, I'm coming back tomorrow with a gun, or I'm going to do that, you report it immediately.
Exactly.
You take it seriously at school. And we see it time and again. The kids do a good job reporting it, and 99% of the time it's just some idiot saying something. Can't take that chance.
Well, then you got the other people say, well, I don't want to get involved because I don't want him coming after me. Okay, well, if you get involved, you may solve the problem of saving your life plus many other lives. Yeah. So you've got to weigh it out.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to Ross. Ross, good morning. Hi, Ross.
Hey, Nick. How you doing today?
Good. What's on your mind?
It's Ross from Rhode. Just tune in and see what's going on. As far as this shooter down in Texas, it's not the number of guns on the street. It's what people decide to do with them. If this guy had spent time growing up as a kid in church services, this wouldn't have happened. I mean, you don't see very often somebody in church getting into a gunfight with other church members. This guy had no proper upbringing. I've seen a picture of his dad's home from above, and
nice home.
I don't know. I would guess it's a 7,000 to 10,000 square foot mansion with a pool, but that says nothing about how much or how little time this guy spent raising his kid.
No, you're right about that. The family did have money. I noticed the same thing when they showed the aerial of the house. That's where he had been staying most recently, right? I think, Ross, I think that's where he was staying most recently, in that house, wasn't he?
That's what it seems like. That's what they seem to say, yeah.
Yeah. All right, yeah, I hear you. Listen, we'll comment on what Ross said. We have to take a quick break, and we'll take more phone calls, 737-7587. Buford Tune with us, gun and security expert, talking about these mass shootings, what you can do locally yourself. And we talked about it before. The problem is there's no easy answers, folks. So we'll take a break and be back with more right after this.